So do you have any contentions? Go ahead.
Wait, hold on. Wait. Infinity. Okay, so with the poll shit, like because you guys already agreed to a judge, if this ends in a tie again, all I'm saying is it's gonna
Wait,
be a
I
point to
agreed. Yeah, I
vote.
agreed to a
Yeah.
judge under the presupposition that he judges off argumentation.
Oh my
Oh
god.
wait, like I said, we're not even done. So
All
go
right. Yeah,
ahead.
you guys
What's your
just go
contentions with
do
my
your
character being
thing.
able to bring his imagination into reality? No mono.
So before I even engage with him, so he's just gonna just like ignore the judge's existence because he doesn't judge the way that he wants him to judge. So what's the point of even continuing this?
I mean,
Like
if you guys
you
want,
get what I'm saying, goons? Like
I don't
what's the
know.
point of like even like continuing with my time here? You just don't agree with his judgment methods. You want him to judge based solely off argumentation. That's not what he does. Why would we continue right here? Like, what the fuck? Like, you're a spurg. You're gonna mute him. I don't give a fuck anymore.
Bro, why does he ask me questions and y'all mute me when I try to? Anyways, so
Yeah, that's what
one,
I'm
yes,
muting.
you're correct. I'm not. Yeah, so please mute him. Thank you, because I was muted instantly.
What?
He's still able to speak for some reason. Please mute him. Go ahead. As soon as this nigga got unmuted, I was muted instantly, but this nigga's still unmuted. Thank you. Anyways, so one, yes, you're completely correct. If the judge doesn't go off of the metric that I agree to, then I'm not going to agree to him as judge. That's tautological. If I don't agree to a judge, I don't agree to a judge. I agree to a judge who judges argumentatively. This judge does not just judge argumentatively. Therefore, guess what, everybody? I don't agree to the judge. I'm pretty sure almost everybody would grant, or at least most people who are competent, not parlar or not jester, most people will want their judge to go off argumentation, not rhetoric, not knowledge, argumentation. This is not the philocom. We don't go off of rhetoric. We go off of substance. Yes, jester, this is basic. Yay. Anyways, do you have a contention towards my character being able to do anything that he wants? Go ahead.
Okay, it's like you didn't track anything what I said. So, again, I have no problem. Okay, we don't even need to mute him. It's not even not necessary for us to get muted. It's just a confidential conversation. Like, we're not even engaging in debate yet. All I'm saying is that I have no
Okay,
issue
you
with
just do a post, Nakazuki.
okay,
Oh my god.
Infinity. I have no issue with your judgment philosophy. If that's what your judgment philosophy is, it's not mine and it's not
That's not what
Goon's.
philosophy. See? Mm-mm-mm-mm. Hey, someone get mine on VC real quick. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Is Mono in here? I can't see him. Yo, that nigga's in VC. A Mono, send a scan in VC scans. Yeah, so read the fucking scan. That nigga Luffy, he's able to turn his imagination to reality because he's just that nigga, my nigga. So look at the scans. Yeah, so what's your contentions, little nigga?
Holy shit. Oh, well, let me unmute him. All right.
Bro, this is getting ridiculous. Can we please like pay attention?
That's my bad. My bad.
Okay. This statement isn't hyper literal in the way it is. The way I interpret this is he's able to do things with his rubbery body that don't fit the norm of what usual devil fruit users can actually do. So I could think like he's like the equivalent to like what would be like a squash and stretch cartoon. Do you know what I'm talking about, Goons? Like squash and stretch, like Tom and Jerry and shit like that.
Yeah.
Where he makes like random shit like appear out of like nowhere and shit like that. But I don't think it's to any like crazy like reality breaking degree. Like I think he can make like a sledgehammer appear and like squash somebody and make it look cartoonish and shit. I think it's to that degree where he's talking about turning imagination to reality. I don't think it's anything like fucking like like out of verso or like unbelievable concept breaking type of thing. So I think it's to that degree. That's my interpretation. That's good.
Yeah, so one, please meet him, Sakazuki. Hey, Mono, Mono, do you see what I mean? Like, there's no distinction between Jester and the low tiers. They use the same shitty ass arguments. But one, give the justification for why it's limited to what you just said. You made the claim it was. You didn't put it into question. Secondly, it would be universal by your retarded ass VSBW metric or whatever tiering system you use because VSBW asserts that universal is correlated to concepts. The mind is immaterialistic due to Islamic views being posited. If that follows, that means since he has direct interaction with the mind, he would also have to be universal. That's why your character can't interact with him, by the way. So that's one thing. Another thing is we see consistently it's an abductive and inductive case that the descriptions within One Piece or the names within One Piece of the devil fruits completely match up to whatever the abilities able to do. Is basically equivalent to epithets. Now, reality is objective. Reality is what there is objectively. So if it says subjective reality, that and the mind or subjectivity is just referring to what's dependent on the mind. That means if it says subjective reality, is just saying reality dependent on the mind. Hello, did I cut out? Hello? Hello? You hear
we
me?
can hear you're back. Yeah, you're
Okay,
back.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
back.
We see consistently that the names and the descriptions of devil fruits cohere to whatever the devil fruit's actually able to do within reality. So we see, for example, the sand fruit is able to allow the character to produce sand, blah blah blah, and we understand that reality is objective. So when it says subjective reality, it's just saying it's subject to the mind, which would be correlative to whatever is in his mind is in reality. So yes, it would just be consistent, abductively and inductively. Hello. Also,
Yeah, I'm still server muted. So goons, again, can we just repost this again? So he's saying that Luffy's peaked the ability to turn imagination into reality. Again, this wouldn't be universal by VSBW because there are levels of subjective reality warping, and we haven't really dived into that. So he's just like made that claim. It's like has no real basis behind it. I'll just post a Kaido fight. What he's basically shown in the fight from evidence here, and you can see the video, Goon. You can just scrim through it. He's basically doing the equivalent to what is a squash and stretch cartoon. I have no problem with him having some level of subjective reality warping. I have no problem with the definition of his fruit being able to turn imagination to reality. I have no issue with it, but it's to some certain degree that isn't like unbelievable, like dimension shattering. Like, you get what I'm saying, Goons? Like, it's not like some crazy shit. It's just him being
Right.
able
You're
to
saying,
do the
yeah, there's,
equivalent.
yeah, you're saying there's like some sort of limit to it, or you have like no reason to believe that it's like, he could like demolish Superman or something.
Yeah. So like, I agree with what he's saying. I agree that he has some level of subjective reality warping. I agree that he have some level to be able to turn his imagination to reality. Neither of the statements are false, right? But it's not like doesn't just go on. He can't just do whatever he wants, right? He'd have to give some evidence for that because from the fights that we've seen, especially in the fight that I just posted right now, there are some like limitations to what he's able to do, or just from what we've seen he's able to do, he's just like fighting like a fucking squash and stretch cartoon. So that's basically it. Like that's my argument. And what he says still coincides with my argument. It doesn't negate anything. So you can continue.
so just to be clear, please, Meet Sakazuki, I'm not granting basic deduction, Goons. Also, just to clarify, because I know you just tried to hold me right there. He never said there's no reason as to why X wouldn't be the case. He said he disagrees with X, and he gave a reason, even though the reason was ass. So he did not put anything in question yet. He's disagreeing with it blatantly, then trying to give some type of rational motivator as to why it's wrong, which he has failed to do, by the way. The argument is fucking ass.
I think he's misunderstanding me, and he's not really tracking what I'm trying to say. I didn't disagree with any of the statements that Infinity really made. I disagree with the level he's trying to blow it out of proportion. I think he's trying to blow the statements out of proportion. The statements stand true. He has some level of subjective reality warping, and he has some ability that lets him turn imagination to reality, which is what subjective reality warping is, right? That's what Toon Force is, but we don't
Hey,
see
hold
people.
up, hold up. Wait, Jester. I think Infinity's internet cut out. He didn't actually finish like whatever he was saying.
Okay,
Apparently.
then don't Goons and you two, don't let him continue. I got a Gatorade. It's fine. I can continue.
All right. So can I unmute him and then you're good to listen?
Yeah, you can let
All
him
right.
continue.
All right.
I'll just
Go
go
ahead,
ahead.
Infinity. My
Bro,
bad.
why
You
are
cut
you
out.
asking this nigga if he can unmute me when it was my turn to speak? What the fuck? What was I on mute
Bro,
anyway?
because I was just cutting him off and telling him that, like, just to make sure you have no, because I don't want you to spurg out and get
Okay,
mad at
look,
me.
okay,
When I'm
is
just
he here? Is he
asking,
here?
like,
Is he
chill the
here?
fuck out.
Is he here? Is
Holy
he here?
fuck.
Is he here? Is he here?
Yes,
Is
he
he
just
here?
said he's
What the fuck?
listening to you. He just said he's
Okay,
listening
shut
to
up
you.
then. Okay, there's
Okay,
no
you're
reason to
pitching like
ramble.
a
That's why I asked you if he was
12-year-old.
here.
Shut up.
The reason why I asked you multiple times is because you kept on fucking rambling. Shut up, nigga. Damn. Anyways, so one, he made the disagreement. He did not put it into question. He did not say he doesn't see any reason as to why X is the case. Therefore, why should we accept X? He said it isn't the case due to X, Y, and Z, even though his rational motivator was retarded as fuck. One thing is, I agree there's a limitation. The limitation is his imagination. Secondly, just because the extent it has been shown is X, Y, and Z doesn't mean that it's limited to that. The reason why, or a good reason as to why that's the extent it has been shown to, is because he's using his prior ability as a model. So, Goons, I know you don't watch One Piece, but Luffy has hypothetically two abilities. So one is his rubbery ability. He's able to turn himself into rubber. His entire personnel is based upon rubber. So if he gains a new ability that allows him to extend his rubbery abilities, he can use his prior abilities as a model. So he has Y, which is rubber abilities, and then X. He can base X off of Y because he has years and years and years of experience of Y. So he uses rubbery abilities. He uses rubbery abilities to fight with this newfound ability. Because the rubbery abilities is used as a model, he understands how the rubber works. He understands what the counter to rubber is. So he can use it as a model towards his new ability and whatever he's going to do with this new ability. But is it limited to that? There's no argument as to why it's limited to that. The fight that he sent is him using his rubbery abilities because he's using it as a model. Anyways, my bad. Hold on. I'm not done, by the way. When he says that there's Oh my god, am I still cutting out? Hello, 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 hello.
No, you're good now. You're good.
Okay, yeah. So when he says we're using or there's levels of subjective reality on VSBW, no, I don't agree that there's levels of subjective reality. I believe that the specific limitation is what you're able to imagine. If the ability is described as the following, you're able to bring your imagination to reality. Obviously, if there's something that extends past your imagination, you're not going to be able to bring your imagination to reality because you can't imagine it in the first place. That's the limitation. I do not grant VSBW. What I do grant is deduction. Premise one, Luffy is 5-dimensional. Premise two, Goku is 3-dimensional. Conclusion, Luffy is above Goku due to the dimensional distinction. I agree with that. That's basic deduction. We can grant deduction. Premise one, my character can do anything he wants. Premise two, your character cannot do anything he wants. Conclusion, my character is able to do anything he wants to your character. Simple as that. We can grant that. That is completely fine. So when you're saying the extension of the ability is limited and we have not been shown that there is no limit, that isn't justification. That's just literally an argument from ignorance. I don't care about your lack of knowledge on the series to justify the fact that there is a limitation. I don't care about us using positive observations to justify there being negative observations or for a negative conclusion. That's retarded.
Are you done, or did you cut out? Infinity.
Hello, hello. Yeah. So like I said, it will be So like I said, it will be inductively and abductively consistent that all these devil fruits and their descriptions depict what's actually going on in terms of what the devil fruit does. Therefore, when we're talking about subjective reality, it would extend to this point as well.
All right, are you done now? Okay.
Yes.
Think. Okay. Jester.
So he basically conceded in his own argument right now about the levels of subjective reality. He disagreed with the levels of subjective reality, but gave himself levels of subjective reality. He said subjective reality is essentially limited to the mind of the user. Okay. So what I'm saying here, if that's the case, so there is some restriction, there is some limit on what the character is able to do. That was my claim, and you just agreed with me. So that's one right there. And so if that's the case, that there's the limit is his mind, all that this guy has been shown to do is fight on the equivalent of using some type of squash and stretch proportion reality bending abilities, which allow him to get advantage over his opponent. I don't think it's some outer worldly reality shaking breaking ability, but I do think he's able to use Toon Force with his rubbery abilities, which is what this new thing gives him, which enhanced them. So all you did in the beginning was explain that Luffy is made of rubber and then agree with my claim. So I just don't understand like what the hell you just achieved right there. You could unmute him and mute me. That just shit was fucking stupid. I could go to conclusions right now. That shit was dumb as fuck.
Nigga, I don't give a fuck about what your bitch ass think, nigga, on old black hoe ass nigga. Like I say, you stupid bitch. I don't give a fuck if you attribute random properties to the ability if you cannot depict those properties from the verse. But something I can depict is the ability's consistency and everything like that. When we're talking about Toon Force, yes, I agree it's Toon Force because Toon Force is correlated to what he's doing within the verse. However, whether or not Toon Force has levels is distinct. I don't agree that subjective reality has levels. Them having it having one overarching limitation, as in a generalized limitation, is not equivalent to it having levels. Levels will be tiers, as in 1, 2, and 3. A limitation is just a general aspect in which the ability cannot go by. So everything is encompassed by the set. You cannot bypass the set. That is a single level because it is encompassing the set is encompassing every single thing that is categorically distinct or categorically the same. But levels of sets will be set 1, set 2, set 3. It's closing the properties, but this thing has the same properties, so there's no level. The set entirely encompasses whatever we're talking about categorically. So when you're talking about I agree to you, I did not agree with shit, my nigga. We can conclude on old block, nigga.
So all he did was claim there's sets and again claim that there's tiers of this thing. First off, I want to make it really clear. Toon Force is subjective reality warping. He used VSBW as a reference earlier, and I wanted to make that clear. Goons, you heard him, right? Before I pull out this fucking definition for what subjective reality is.
Yeah, I think I heard that. Yeah.
Yes, okay. Just give me 2 seconds. Because he got to fucking just throw a bunch of insults at me, but I'm not going to say an insult this fucking pussy. It's okay. Subjective reality, by definition, and this is what people generally use, it allows the user to induce reality to what is fiction, fantasy, or imaginary. That is why he's able to use Toon Force in equivalence to what squash and stretch cartoons are, where they're like stretching themselves to unbelievable lengths and like doing this crazy fictional shit and putting hammers out of nowhere and shit like that. Perfectly okay with that. He says that ability, right, his mythical fruit, which is what gives him Toon Force and enhances his rubber abilities that he explained later, is limited to his imagination. Everything that he said about sets was unbelievably irrelevant because if he's saying that it's limited to the imagination of the user, everybody's brains work differently. which means like somebody could be not as intelligent and he was talking about experience earlier. Somebody could have the same ability, be less experienced with Luffy, and not know what to do with it. So their level of subjective reality warping would be worse than his. By literally what he just said, by concession, what he just said. So what he's saying is contradictory to itself. Everything he said about Setsu's literally irrelevant. And not only is he just digging a hole deeper and deeper for himself, he's gonna sit here throwing insults, acting like he's cool, even though he's conceded for the second time in this debate and just getting really just dumb. If you want to conclude, I'll conclude right now. I promise you, he's gonna unmute himself, say the same shit. I'm gonna go straight to conclusions. How much do you want to bet?
That shit was not rhetorical, my nigga. This nigga just said he wasn't gonna insult me and didn't call me a pussy. I think that's an insult, buddy. But Goons, like I said, you don't do crossfit, so I'm gonna clarify something. Everybody, crossfit lesson 101 by infinity. We are not taking these characters in character. They're not going to be performing the same actions as they usually do. All we're doing is giving analysis on the ability that they have and how they use them, or not how they use them, the abilities that they have and whatever fundamental properties the ability has, and then we're comparing it to other abilities. I'm not saying Luffy with personality X is going to beat your character with personality Y. I'm saying Luffy with his abilities that he has in a verse with my own explanatory power towards the ability is going to beat your character. So I can use the ability however I want if I justify it. It's not limited to X or Y or B, whatever. If I justify there's no limitations, I can say that your character would just get turned into a ugly ass fucking hobo or whatever. So I do not grant that we're using these characters in character. Another thing is, just to be clear, Goons, I want you to clarify. I don't know if you're gonna hold me over again, but look, what I said was VSBW tiers, not the hacks description. With hacks description, we go off of the descriptions that the author gives for their own abilities. VSBW tiers grant the fact that Outerversal is correlated to abstractness. Did I say I grant VSBW? No. I said VSBW grants the fact that abstractness is correlated to Outerversal because I know he appeals to VSBW. Directly after I said that, I said we can use basic deductions. Premise 1, Luffy is 5-dimensional. Premise 2, Goku is 3-dimensional. Conclusion, Luffy is dimensionally above Goku. Did I not say that, Goons?
I do remember you saying that, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Wow. I'm not done, by the way. Hold on. Send more of the panels, by the way. Mono. For the description shit. For the set thing, by the way, that general ability doesn't have limitations. Characters have the limitations, not the general ability. So, just to clarify, I was talking about the general ability. There's one set of the general ability. The only thing is limited to is respective imagination. But the characters having limitations, yes, that can be levels. Also, Toon Force is not the same thing as subjective reality. You can have Toon Force, which is the ability to just have random shit occur as a cartoony, some type of stylish cartoony effect, but you don't need to base it upon your imagination. We've seen brain dead people are able to perform actions without relying on their imagination or consciousness. We see within reality there's people with no imagination or conceptual, or they're also not able to give some type of conceptual analysis on what's going on, but they're still able to perform actions. So Toon Force is not relying on subjective reality. Subjective reality is just actions or reality subject to the mind, like I said. So yeah, we can conclude.
So just mute him. I'm gonna address that fucking insane fucking tyrant that you went on. So when he's talking about the restrictions to characters, at the beginning of this debate, he said he is using every version of Luffy that appears in the manga. Am I correct? Goons? That was his character? He's using every version of Luffy, right?
Yeah, I do recall that from like the very beginning,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So we're not just using some imaginary version of Luffy that he's cooking up in his head that could just use his ability on some fucking crazy shit. So the abilities, again, are restricted to, as he said right now and can see it right now, to limitations of the imagination of his character and based on his experience with the ability. Now, this does mean that this character, and I'm not saying that he's claiming he's abstract before he says that bullshit and repeating the claim. Does that mean that his character is automatically abstract because he could just imagine he's abstract? No, because again, can he just imagine that and just make himself that? No, we know that there's only a certain levels what he is capable of doing from what we see in the show and in the manga. To address the subjective reality point, Toon Force is subjective reality warping. What we're talking when we say subjective reality, Goons, is in context of reality warping because that's what his character is able to do. That's what we've been talking about the entire time. You get what I'm saying? So when I mentioned Toon Force, and by definition, what she doesn't agree with, what reality warping is by definition is stuff that's able to let you manipulate the boundary between like what's real and what's not, and it will do crazy, goofy shit and shit that's fake. Toon Force falls under that category. Are there other versions of it? 100%. But does Toon Force fall under the category of reality warping or subjective reality? Yes, it does. Just by definition of what it is. So there was that. the set point is still relevant because he's not using some imaginary version of Luffy, because we're still using like any version of Luffy that appears in the manga. From I'm pretty confident that he said earlier, and that's what Goons heard. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So unless you want to go to a conclusion, I think you pretty much lost.
No, okay. This dude is so terrible. Please mute him, Sakazuki. Holy shit. So just to be clear, goons, every single ability is reality warping. If I walk 2 steps, I'm manipulating reality. If I shoot a fire beam, I'm manipulating reality because I'm creating events that were not there initially within reality. Therefore, there is a level of manipulation of reality. I don't understand why he's saying subjective reality is specifically reality warping. No, everything is reality warping. Since fire manipulation is reality warping, then it is not just limited to subjective reality. You can perform actions while not basing them on your imagination. Therefore, you're manipulating reality. Subjective reality is a specific type of reality manipulation where the things that you're manipulating are subject to the mind. But whether or not you need to be subject to the mind to manipulate reality is distinct. I already gave this argument, goons. The analogical argument is the following. We see people within reality who are able to perform actions while being brain dead and not having any conceptual analysis in their mind or brain, whatever you want to say the conceptual analysis is derived from. Therefore, you're able to manipulate reality without anything being subject to your mind. Basic shit. Another thing is, hold on, let me get this game by the way. Another thing is when I said I'm using every single possible version that has appeared within the manga, yes, every single possible analysis of his abilities and what he's able to do, not how he does it. Goons, just to clarify, his willpower and his mental state is distinct from what he is able to do. What he's able to do is not the same as what he does do. So I heard you, I know you just heard this shit. Do not be biased. I know you heard this nigga say Luffy is capable of X. If Luffy is capable of X, which is the ability to do anything, that's distinct from whether or not he does anything. What we see Luffy do is model this ability off of the rubbery, stylish, cartoonist effects that he has prior to him awakening this ability, since his ability is awakened from his new Gear 5 state. So I'm just going to clarify, goons. Within One Piece, we have, I think, 10 gears that Luffy has, and then we have Gear 5, which allows for subjective reality, but he just awakened Gear 5. And then before that, he just had rubbery abilities, he can amplify them. I'm saying that Gear 5, he uses his abilities in Gear 5 and he models those abilities off of his prior abilities because he has years of experience using those prior abilities. So he's based upon rubber. So with his ability to turn anything into reality, he models that ability off of rubber. But he can extend it past the model, but he doesn't. That is distinct. As long as he can do it, that's all I need. I'm not using some type of imaginary version of Luffy. I'm using a version of Luffy in which he has these capabilities in which he just doesn't apply. So we are not taking the characters in character. We're able to control what the character does as long as they have the abilities and the capabilities to do such thing. I'm not saying that since I'm in control of the character, that means he doesn't have any limitations now. No, what I'm saying is what he's capable of doing ability-wise or abilitatively, I'm able to control that. It still has the same limitation. I'm just able to control how he applies the ability. The same as if Aang uses fire manipulation only when he encounters a water person, but I grant the fact that he has fire manipulation in the hypothetical verse that we're having right now, I would just say he is now not only using it on the fire manipulation because that's something he chooses to do. He's not limited to doing that. He just chooses to do that. So we're disregarding their choice of action. We're not disregarding their course of action, retard.
Okay. So apparently everybody in VC, all 76 members are reality warpers today. But to address that point that he just made right now, to make it clear when he says, to make it clear when he says we're using every version of Luffy that pops up in the manga, you know, if he's using Luffy then saying, I'm gonna say Luffy does this in my way, he's not fucking using Luffy, he's just picking out the ability and saying that this shit's gonna happen to my character. That's not the same thing. I don't agree with him doing that. That's not a parameter that we set at all, and you shouldn't be able to do that at all. That makes no sense. I'll explain why. Because if we only see this ability using this type of way, we know that this rubbery ability allows him to use some sort of toon force mixed in with his rubbery powers to imitate that of a squash and stretch cartoon. We can't just go that and take a jump from I'm imagining shit into the real world and your guy is gonna fucking die kaboom. He can't just do that shit. That makes no sense. That's not consistent with what and how the ability work. So we work off consistency. We have to see how the ability works. He can't just start naming shit that he thinks the ability could do when we clearly see it works another way from him. That's not consistent with his character at all. I understand he's using composite, but it's composite in the manga. It's not some imaginary shit. His version of Luffy does not match the consistency of the version of Luffy in the manga, so that makes no sense right there. As to the reality warping point, You're not using reality warping in the same context I am. I made it really clear to Goons and the entire chat. I think everybody knows what we mean when we say reality warping. Obviously, you're some type of fucking confused when you say that you took 2 steps and you bent reality. Um, you might be Chris Angel. I don't know. I don't know if you're a magician. I don't know, but that's up to you, big dog. Other than that, I don't think you really addressed anything I really said about, uh, his ability and the limitations of it and the mind shit. So I'm ready to go to conclusions. Honestly, I'm ready to go because that shit was insane. That was a yap session. We can say whatever he wants.
Okay, look. Okay, mute him, please. So just to be clear, everybody, changes. Anyway, that shit was not funny at all. I'm just gonna let the silence air that real quick. Okay, anyway, shout out to NGL and Mono. So just to be clear, changes through time is what determines what's within reality. So if we are able to change through time, which we are, by the way, this condition is met, the antecedent, the consequent follows, which is that reality is manipulated. We grant the same definition of reality manipulation, which is just changing things within reality. Yes. So if there is water there and then I drink the water, that water is no longer there. Therefore, there's a change of events within reality. So biconditionally, we are manipulating reality. Whether or not we're performing the same actions to manipulate reality are two different things. The consequent is still met, which is reality is being manipulated. The antecedent is the point of contention. The antecedent for this situation is his mind. He goes into his mind and then he brings it into reality. The antecedent for the water analogy I gave is me changing the events. It's me drinking the water. There's a change of sequence of events. So yes, everybody manipulates water. You talking about that being unnormative or not normatively assumed? That's not rhetorical, my nigga. This is basic shit. I thought everybody knew this. And then when you say can't is a modal term. What is the argument as to why it's impossible that he cannot extend his abilities past his rubbery effects? You said the abilities based upon rubber. What's the argument upon that? It being modeled off of rubber and it being contingent upon rubber are two different things. I want the argument as to why there's an ontological dependency instead of him just modeling it off of rubber due to his prior experiences and prior knowledge on how rubber works because he's been with rubber multiple years over. So you saying there's no set parameters as to why this character is able to do it and we're able to turn the character into do it into any way. There's no set parameters for the same as what you're saying. You're saying we should take the characters in character. What's the argument as to why that's a set parameter? I do not agree that the characters are in character. I agree that they have the abilities that they are shown to have within the manga, but whether or not they use the abilities the same or is a different topic of conversation. I don't grant that at all, Jester. I want the argument for that. I believe that within a hypothetical crossword scenario, we're able to use the abilities that they have as long as we're not extending past the limitations. What you're doing currently is presupposing that the limitation he has is something that is in his mind. I only grant that a limitation in his mind. We know that he's able to imagine anything logically possible, anything conceivable he's able to bring in within reality. If my character beating your character is conceivable, or my character turning your character into a rapist like Giyas's brother is conceivable. Therefore, by conditionally, he would be able to bring it into reality in virtue of this ability. As simple as that. And then when you're talking about a consistent data set, that data set doesn't actually represent the conclusion you're trying to reach. The data set of what's been shown is not representative of what's being limited to. It's been shown because he acts in X way. Is it being shown because he's limited to acting in X way? No, you can't justify that. So what is the justification as to why X is limitation instead of why X is just a course of action that he takes? Go ahead.
So his entire 5-minute rant in the beginning of what he defines reality warping to be is completely irrelevant. So I'm not gonna really address that. That doesn't really attack my argument, what I'm saying at all. Now to attack his consistency point, and I don't think he really said anything on limitation standards. All really cares about the consistency checkpoint. All that matters here is that yes, it's possible that he could have some broader way to use this ability, right? And it's also possible that he consistently or he's only able to use it this way. That's why we take both these things, analyze them, and see what happens consistently through the manga. So, Goons, we have two possibilities here. He could use it in a broader category. He could not, because it's restricted to certain rubbery properties that he uses. I'm not saying that Luffy just has to use this in the rubbery type of way because he was making clouds appear and shit. I'm perfectly okay with that. But I don't think it's to the level that you're saying that he could just imagine my character loses and he just instantly loses. So when we take both these things that we analyze here and we run a consistency check on them, consistently in every fight that he's had in this form where he's bending reality, he's just using squash and stretch abilities. You still have somehow not directly addressed that, and you're making up these things and saying he could possibly use it this way. What I'm saying the opposite, and then this is more consistent based on this evidence. Your argument is weaker than mine. it just loses. If you feel like you defeated what I said, goons, do you feel like we can go to conclusions? I feel like I'm happy to go to conclusions right now.
I mean, yeah, I'm ready to conclude.
I'm gonna bang. This shit's a banger. Like, it's just a fucking joke.
Just to be clear,
Bitch.
Mono sent all my scans. Yeah, so why is he still talking? Thank you, Sakazuki. So just to be clear, Mono sent all the scans I need. They're in VC scans, which you can peek at after goons. But do you agree to conclude? All he did was just question back right there. Just, do you agree to conclude?
Yeah, I'm not gonna conclude. What?
I bet. So, goons, when he said that he's granting the fact, or he's granting the opposite of possible, what did I say at the start, goons? I said it's consistent and abductive that the names and descriptions of devil fruits, which is the ability that allows him to do this thing, by the way, the descriptions and names of devil fruits extend and accurately depict what the character is able to do. So I have consistency. I have an inductive and abductive case. He has no inductive and abductive case. All his data set represents is what his character or what my character chooses to do, not what my character is limited to doing. So if I have the capabilities and then I can control what he's capable of doing, that's all I need, which he did not give an argument as to why this parameter should not be set. The same as he didn't give an argument as to why his parameter of them being in character should be set. What I granted was the entity and his abilities, not the entity, his personality and his abilities. I don't agree with that. Luffy has his personality. I believe I'm controlling what he does with the abilities. I believe I'm controlling how he applies the abilities. I'm not controlling what the ability extends to as in its limitations. We go off of the verse for that. But how he applies the abilities and how he works around the limitations is what I am able to choose. He did not give any argument. All he said was, well, this is the case, this is the case, this is the case. He disagrees. But what is argument as to why his disagreement is just? There is no argument at all. I gave justification towards everything I said. Inductive consistency. I gave abductive consistency. You can look at BC scans. Mono sent multiple scans for me that accurately depict the devil fruit's name and description, demonstrating what is the case within reality within a verse. So we see the sand fruit is able to produce sand. We see the water fruit is able to produce water. So I gave a clear difference between reality and subjective reality. Subjective means it's dependent on the mind. So if it says subjective reality, that would be correlative to a reality dependent on the mind. Sand fruit, we know what sand is. It's a type of substance that usually is correlated to a beach. We understand that. So guess what? The devil fruits consistently match the name. They're one-to-one with the name. The same as the water fruit, the character is able to produce water. The dick fruit, the character is able to grow a big-ass dick. We see this. So he did not justify anything. I've justified everything that I said. Go ahead.
Alrighty then. So he didn't make an argument. So Goons, I think it's really clear for all of us why I wrap up this conclusion really quickly. He didn't make an argument for most of the scans that guy just spammed in the chat. So I'm literally just gonna ignore that. That's just bullshit. I'm just saying there's scans in the chat. That's nothing. I blatantly just disagreed with him saying, "Oh, I could use this character however I want." I gave an argument as to why I'm like he can't just do that because that's not consistent with how the character works. And at that point, he's not using the character anymore, and that's not Luffy. That's just him using the ability in whatever way he wants. It's not Luffy. He never responded to that. Number one, so that's just bullshit. He just got his fucking like a wedgie given right there, and he just can't respond to that shit for no reason. I gave a consistency check argument that he just failed to respond to and went circular on for zero reason. And then we went over the reality warping definitions, and he kind of just rambled on of how he describes what reality warping is, never really directly disagreed with me, and how the ability works. And he even, set limitations on it. And at the end of the day, I said, we're using comp Luffy. So what Luffy does in the manga, not what he wants the ability to do. So if we're using what Luffy does in the manga, he can't just, we have to run a consistency check on what Luffy's capable of doing, which is still in debate, and he still can't address and he still can't get around. So at the end of the day, he just got literally fucking suplexed and Batista bombed at that point for zero reason, and he just couldn't track, couldn't comprehend anything I was saying. I don't think there's any way he just won that point. That shit was fucking ridiculous. Like, he was just yapping the entire time. But you could give a judgment on that, Vince.
Wait, Infinity wanted to say something before.
No, we're done with conclusions. Goons, just give it a judgment. I'm not.
No, you can mute Jester real quick. So just to be clear,
How no?
Jester,
Exactly.
this
How
might
don't mute me.
be
Don't mute me.
yeah. So
Don't
can you
mute me.
please
Don't mute me.
mute him, Sakazuki? I was
Don't mute me. Don't
muting him.
mute me.
Can you
We have to get a
don't
judgment
let
first
him
because that
call
was
like a
conclusions.
baby, then don't mute him.
That was
Can you please mute him?
conclusions.
Can you
No,
please
no,
mute
no,
him,
no,
Wait,
no,
Sakazuki?
hold
no.
up. Wait, hold up. I'm meeting both of you. Wait, hold up. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it up to Goons because I'm not gonna he's the judge. So Goons, do you want to let Infinity clarify anything about his argument before you give conclusions or what? I mean, before you give judgment or not?
I mean, yeah, if he needs to clarify something, then he can go ahead.
All right, go ahead, Infinity.
I wasn't expecting the retardation from Jester, so just to make sure you don't fall into that retarded state that he is currently, I want to clarify. When I say composite, that's me including all of his capabilities, not how he addresses his capabilities. So when I say composite Luffy in the manga, I'm saying anything he's capable of doing in the manga, anything that's shown that he's capable of doing in the manga, not what he does do. It doesn't need to be shown not what he does do, but what he is able to do, which is distinct claims. How he walks a dog is distinct from him being able to walk a dog. I'm controlling the capabilities that he has. I'm not saying it extends past the limitations that's been shown in the verse. All I'm saying is I'm able to control the capabilities that he does. I'm not saying he's able to do anything impossible or anything like that. Nothing is impossible to his mind other than what is inconceivable. And another thing is, he said I didn't address it. It wouldn't be Luffy anymore. The entire point of the question bag, which I called at the end of the fucking debate, where we was about to conclude. Baby, by the way, I want you to vouch for this. I literally said before we concluded, which you can vouch for, that is a question bag. That was in response to him saying it wouldn't be Luffy anymore. That's what's in question. Why does that parameter not being agreed upon until it isn't Luffy anymore? So he just went circular the entire time. Do you have judgment?
Yeah, did Jester want to respond there?
Oh yeah, can you mute him? I
Yeah,
think
for sure.
first off, I think it's a little dumb that we let this guy give a second conclusion. If he couldn't clarify his points clearly in the parameters of debate, why would we let him do it after conclusions? That's my first point. First off, that's like fucking insane. Second off, I didn't question Beg. I gave that in response to his previous statement, put it into question. He just said the same shit again, so he's actually the one that was questioning Beg. So that I want to make that super clear. That was just fucking insane. And when he's saying what he always just said about, oh, I'm not extending the limitations of what my character is, I'm just using it in my way, that still falls on the line of what I said. If we're using Luffy in the manga, I literally made this argument, brought it forth, he just couldn't respond to it. If we're using Luffy in the manga, right, then he can't just say Luffy could do this, which wasn't consistently shown that Luffy's doing in the manga. Why would we ever allow that? I made an argument for that, and he just repeat himself again. No more conclusions, guys. Can we go to conclusions, please? This guy just lost. I want to make it super clear. Please mute me. Just go to conclusions, Goons. Mute me, please, and keep us both.
Goons, what do you want to do? Do you want to let the Infinity go further, or do you want to give conclusions?
Yeah, Infinity got bitched.
Oh.
Wait, so just to clarify for everybody in chat, can you please mute Jester? Just to clarify, can you please mute Jester? Why is he talking, Sakazuki? Can you please mute him? Sakazuki, thank you. So just to clarify for everybody in chat, I already knew Goons was going to hold me. I'm not going to address him. But just to clarify for everybody in chat, the question bag argument in response, he did not give that at all. As soon as I said he was question bag and we agreed to conclude, he did not give an argument for the question bag at all. Everybody can grant he did not contend the question bag. I said he was question bagging, then we went straight to conclusions. Another thing is,
Oh, you cut out Infinity, by the way. Infinity? Hello? Infinity? Hello?
hello, do you hear me? Hello.
Yeah, okay, it works now.
Yeah, so for the question bag argument, he did not give an argument. The second thing he said was also not an argument given. All he did was go circular the entire debate. I agree that he can utter some nonsense after the debate, but whether or not it actually upholds to what's said within the debate is distinct. He did not say any of that. But yeah, easy claps. We can move on.
All I'm gonna say is, dude, this Shinra is about to have the craziest agenda of all time. I just want that to be known. I'm just gonna preface
Wait,
that
that's
before
fine.
this.
Goons thinks he won. I literally said that Goons was gonna hold me before the debate started. But can we go on to the next point?
Yeah. Yeah, just take my character.
Actually, do you wanna leave it off there?
We'll leave it off there.
Actually, how much time do you have?
I have time. For like an hour and a half.
Oh, also for the other thing, I said multiple times that monoscan entails an inductive and abductive case. I don't need to speak the scans. Sakazuki can vouch. Hold on. Anyways, can you please mute him, Sakazuki? Sakazuki
What the
can
hell?
also
We're not even in
vouch.
point. Why the hell would you mute
Can
me?
you please mute him,
Why?
Sakazuki?
You better not mute me now. That's
Wait,
We
hold up,
are
wait,
we are
hold
in
up,
a point
hold up,
currently.
both of
We
you shut up.
are in a
Both of you,
point currently.
wait, both
We
of
are
you
in a
be
point
quiet.
currently. Can you please mute him?
Hold up, wait,
What the
both of you,
fuck?
wait, chill. Before we continue, right? I want to just clarify: are we ending the debate off there, or are we continuing?
No, we're not. That's what I'm trying to say. So please mute him real quick while I'm speaking.
We're not continuing.
Mono. Did you not hear me say multiple times? Type in VC scans. Did you not hear me say multiple times? Mono scans account for an inductive and abductive case.
I mean, you did say that. I mean, I don't.
Okay, thank you. Like, what the fuck? So yes, I did
I
use the
responded to
scans.
that.
I didn't cite the scans specifically because I didn't need to. You didn't ask me to. You didn't ever put in the question. You never contended
I
the
did.
inductive and abductive argument because you can't track for shit. So yes.
I mean, you keep yapping, but
and then another thing is, anyways, another thing is this.
Listen.
Even
Infinity,
if
at
I
the
do
end of the
have
day,
to
you
cite it,
didn't
I do
convince the
cite it.
judge, bitch. Just keep fucking yapping.
Wait,
You didn't hear it.
okay, wait, hold on, wait, Sakazuki.
And you're just losing. Like, I don't understand. This is autism.
Wait, that's fine. I didn't. That's
Nonsense.
why. That's
Can
why
we
I
get to
said.
the debate?
Wait,
Can we
Jester.
progress? Can we
I'm
progress?
trying to, but you keep cutting me off.
Jester,
So let me
Jester,
say
I
my
don't think
second.
he
Can I say?
wants to
Can I say
continue
my
the
second
debate.
point?
By
Can
the
I say
way,
my
he's
second
just
point?
Do
trying
you
to
not want to
like
continue
tell
the
the
debate?
audience. I think he's
I'm
telling the
trying, nigga. Are
audience
you
why
stupid? Can I
he
say my
wants.
second point?
This guy
All right, Jester,
fucking
just let him
stupid.
go. Jester, let him go. I'm gonna mute you for
Okay,
now.
so just to
Let
be
him go.
clear,
Now let
everybody, I
Autism
want.
ramble.
Hold on. Can y'all shut the fuck up? Damn. So everybody in chat, everybody in chat, I want y'all to go to general real quick and then search up Goons is gonna homie. I already predicted this. I already said Goons is gonna homie. I don't know why he agreed to me, but my second point is Luffy gets stronger the more that he laughs.
Okay, so he's continuing goons. Yeah, so to piggyback on that, I just think my character is just like too fast for your character. He's just fucking just like speed blitz him too.
Yeah, what's the argument for that if my character's out of versal?
Why is your character universal?
I already gave the argument as to why he's out of versal in the last point, so we
Oh,
can just
yeah,
read the
so
conclusion
yeah,
on
that's
that.
the. I mean, that's the wait, goons. Then you just gave him that point to me, no?
Wait, that's fine. I'm talking about for the polls.
We're not running polls. We're running judgment.
Yes, we are running polls. I can run polls right now.
This is the official. Well, I mean, we don't agree to polls. I mean, if you're gonna crash out meme out,
Wait,
yeah,
bye.
my
Wait, just to
character.
be, I'm not crying by the way. I'm
Mute him, mute him,
completely
mute him,
calm.
mute him, mute him,
But
mute him,
I wasn't
mute
done.
him,
I
get
cut
him,
out.
hey,
I wasn't.
Sokka, get him, get him, boys. It's crashed out speed run. Listen, we crashed out too. It's no problem. And you might have lost the polls too, but I don't give a fuck. Yeah, goons, you here? So my
Yeah.
character, yeah. So here we go.
Hold
So
up.
I'll just
And
show you.
everyone, wait, hold up. For Rizhan and fucking Mono saying the server's biased, bro, Jester's been muted more times than Infinity. But either way, just shut
Yes.
the fuck up. Like, I'm just letting them go on their turn.
So, Dr. Manhattan encaps the entire Justice League at once, casually, right? Like, he just reacts to all of them and just encaps all of them and just shits on them. Then, and he even, and to back this up, somebody who is just as fast as the Flash and arguing the speed point, he just like fucking like erases the reverse. Yes, I did. You didn't read this comic. I own this comic in physical. First off, I don't know who the fuck he's talking about. What he's talking about. And second off, the reverse Flash gets shit on in an even worse way too. To make that clear. So that first off, the guy in Yo Time does not know what he's talking about. That guy literally takes a big dookie on the entire Justice League and they can't react to him. So I'll make that super clear. He shits on a guy who's just as fast as Barry, and it's the reverse Flash. And then I'll just show you like what the speed would correlate to. Just give me a second. So I'm gonna just give like because we're not using VSBW2 and we don't have a parameter set for that. So you got to give me a second to just grab a Barry Allen speed feat and then I'll let him continue. So here we go. Hold on, give me a second. Hold on.
Also, I'll probably have to go in like 10 minutes. So.
Okay, that's no
Yeah,
problem.
that works. I have to go in 10 minutes as well. I gotta go poker.
Yeah, that's no issue. Yeah, here we go. So we just give some quantifiable speed. For now. And then, if I have to add on to it later, I'll add on to it. But from what we know, Barry could like perceive and here we go. What the fuck? He perceives events in less than in an attosecond, right? In less than an attosecond. If you want that, here we go. It's 1/quintillionth of a second. And so he can't perceive Dr. Manhattan. Dr. Manhattan just encaps in the previous scan. So I have some like crazy quantifiable speed, like the most like quantifiable possible speed feat like ever, like super duper like infinity MFTL. And
Jester,
even earlier is outside the timeline.
Wait, Jester, 1 second. Jester, 1 second, because I'm pretty sure Infinity was scaling. Like he was giving like the whole like laughing thing and stuff like that. Is this,
yeah,
like,
my response. Yeah, so this is my response. That I'm saying that he says his character gets stronger with laughing. We don't know how strong his character is. My character has like some quantifiable scaling. His scaling fell through last point. So my character is just fucking.
He said this was a second point, like a second point he was making with like his scaling. But if that's
I know he's like
response, okay, if this is your response, I'm gonna let Infinity address this and clarify whatever he was saying. No,
I know. But we don't know what does he mean by strong.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Okay, I'm gonna let him talk now.
So he has to expand upon it.
Oh, first, nigga, fuck that nigga Flash. fuck that nigga Superman, bitch. What the fuck? I don't know why the fuck I was muted at mid points. I was literally mid sentence and I was muted instantly. And this nigga just started speaking and giving 30 points that didn't address what I said. One, I was going to say quantification versus quantification entails an unknown variable. So that would tell an inclusive scale, and you cannot conclusively determine who's faster if you cannot determine the speed of my character. That's one thing. Secondly, we can determine the speed of my character. He is irrelevant speed by your metric, because I'm sure you agree with irrelevant speed since you posit VSBW. My character is above all concepts because he's universal, which I won the last point. Goons, I want to clarify before you leave. Do you think he won overall or argumentatively as well?
Oh yeah, the judgment was on argumentatively there.
Okay, perfect. So my character's universal. He would be irrelevant speed. For the point that you just made, nigga, my 1 infinity 2 F TL, I don't even know what that means. You can go ahead and justify that. That's an actual speed tier. Another thing is, my character is, if I were to grant that I lost that point, which I don't, by the way, if I were to grant that I lost that point, my character will be infinite speed, because each distance or each measurement that you travel can be infinitely divided into the next, so it will be infinite speed. And then for the other thing, I don't give a fuck that he beat the like, nigga, fuck the Justice League, bitch. What the fuck? Hell no. And then for the quantification thing, I already get my point for that, so we can conclude.
All right.
I'm just missing the other shit.
Yeah, so just to respond, just to give some AP. Here we go. I think AP is relevant for this guy. He's just like, just quantumly just like erases people. So, no, I'm not even gonna use that as a matter of fact. Here we go. Let me get a scan real quick because I know you gotta leave in 10 minutes. Actually, I already posted in the previous scan. He holds down Flash, Green Lantern, fucking and Martian Manhunter. Like, I'll just give you like a Green Lantern feat, some random shit. Like, just we'll get it over with. I gave you know what speed he's like. He's just fast and unperceivable, even like attoseconds. So I did give a quantifiable speed tier. His scaling is based on the previous point. So I'll just give you a AP feat. It's fucking ridiculous. Yeah. He holds down Green Lantern, who could contain an explosion that explodes a galaxy. Here we go. You just you could see it. It's good. Some of you could see the scans. Yeah? So my computer's a little slow right now. Hold on, I got it all. Okay, yeah. I posted scans. So my character has some quantifiable AP. My character has quantifiable speed, and his character has nothing because all his scaling is dependent on the previous point. So, which he got judged, he lost. So I win.
All right. Infinity.
So, like I said, I don't care about Goon's judgment. I said before the debate that he was going to hold me. Another thing is, it's not all contingent upon that points. I already gave new points. But yeah, we can conclude. I agree with everything you just said. That is not above my character scaling at all. Yes, we can conclude. So, the debate is over. Easy claps. GG's.
You not want to hear the judgment, or do you not care? You just not care.
I don't care about Goon's judgment.
Goons,
I said that before the debate started.
Yeah, so Goons, can I give conclusions real quick and you just like judge it off of that?
Yeah.
What?
So yeah, and well, this is the judge.
I'm granting what he said. Why would we need to conclude? I'm granting that he has his scaling that he just said now.
Yeah, no, he granted my scaling. So
so you just want to hear the biased judgment that Goon said? Oh,
no, it's not biased, bro. Goons,
no, it's definitely biased. I predicted it being biased before the debate started.
Goons. Other than today, have I ever talked or met you ever?
I don't care about. I don't care about
okay.
little interactive biases currently. So, like I said.
Can you mute him? Because this is ridiculous. He's freaking out. And he's like,
okay, wait, hold up. I just one question with Jester. One second. Infinity, right? So just yes or no. Like, can you give a conclusion? Although you don't care about his judgment, can you just give a conclusion just for the VC?
I'm saying, what's the point of concluding?
Okay, then you don't have to conclude. I'll conclude.
Oh, why is he
saying that everything? Wait, hold up.
Can I speak to you? Can I speak to you, please, without interrupting?
Wait,
hold on. You give judgment on argumentative interactions. There was no argumentative interaction because I granted his speed and AP scaling for that points because he did not contend my speed and AP scaling for this points.
Okay, so you're saying you're saying that there's nothing to conclude upon because yours
yes, we agree.
Yes, you agreed with his. Okay, Jester, do you have something to say that?
Yeah, that's why I want to go to conclusions. His speed his irrelevant speed scaling and out of versal scaling is based off a previous point.
I'm not basing it off of outer versal. I'm not basing it off of VSBW. I said it is outer versal by your metric, but I don't care about your metric.
Yeah.
I'm just giving a range. So I don't
By
care
my
about
metric, which is
VSBW.
VSBW.
If it isn't outer versal and VSBW, I don't care. That doesn't defeat my points.
All right, Jester.
Can I not respond? Like, what the hell? I don't know why I get muted. If he's saying it's irrelevant speed based off my metric, which would make him faster, my character, the metric I use consistently is VSBW. If you're not using that metric, then you don't have anything to say how fast he really is. Then we don't know how fast your character is. We don't know how strong your character is. Then you've given nothing. You can't just say, "Oh, we don't know how strong or fast my character is," so you can't say we didn't win. In a versus battles debate, the standard is I give evidence to why I think my character's strong. I give some reasoning. If you can't tell me how strong or how fast your character is, then we can't really decide whether or not your character is stronger, faster, mine, then you'd lose, right? You are basing, and this is literally it, goons. We could just send it off here. This guy just fucking lost and he's crashing out and he's crying about a judge. You are basing your scaling off a previous point that the judge already said you lost. You're cooked. You're done. The debate's over. Like, this shit's cooked. Can we move on, please? Like, this shit's over. Already just everything he just said.
All right.
He's memeing out.
Wait, so just to be clear, wait, can you please mute him? Thank you. So just to be clear, I did not grant your VSBW metric. I said by your metric, it will be universal. So when you say if I don't grant your metric, and that isn't the case in my metric, you have no speed scaling. That is not true. I said he's above the constant of speed, meaning he's above all speed tiers. Even if it is not the case under your metric, I'm saying in the verse, my character is above all speed tiers. The metric, which is universal, is just giving it a label. So if my character is above all speed tiers and your character's in a speed tier, deductively, which I said we're going to be using logical deduction, deductively, my character will be faster than yours. So when you're talking about judgment, I granted that for this debate's progression, we can use Goons' argumentative judgments. However, I already knew he was going to hold me before the debate, which I want someone to send in VC scans. I predicted this. I don't care about his judgment for the long run. I already knew Goons was going to hold me. So I don't care about your new points. They don't contend anything. I'm not saying by your metric it is the case and we should accept it to be the case. I'm saying by your metric it is the case, but even if I'm wrong, we still have a deductive scaling for my character when it comes to speed. So the debate is over. GG's, my nigga.
Guess you don't want to conclude, or can we just conclude and get a judgment?
We don't need to conclude because we don't disagree on anything for his points.
So you lost. That's it. You don't care. You lost.
Hope I didn't lose.
Okay. So goons, I'll just make my closing statement.
All right, so hold on, wait.
Oh my god, bro! Please, bro, come on. You made to make a second conclusion. Can I please say something and we close it out, please? Like,
I was just gonna tell Goons to give a judgment just for the event, and then y'all can stop.
Yeah, I want to make a closing statement. I don't care if he does or doesn't, or if he feels in his feelings, he wants to or not. But I'll just make it super clear, Goons.
But you're so corny, bro. Just
you can say corny. You sat here and yap around X, Y, and
like
Z
this nigga
all
said
day,
I was crashing out because I was
You're
speaking
crashing
calmly.
out.
Like this nigga doesn't know what a crash out is, bro.
You weren't speaking calmly any of the
Nigga, you don't know what a crash out
Can we
is.
mute him? Can we mute him? Can we mute him? Can we mute him? I'll make my
Yes,
closing
under what
statement.
motoscope are you talking
Mute
about?
Mute him. I don't give a fuck, bro. Fuck you. Yeah. So anyway, Goons. So all his scaling was based off the point you judged he lost, and he's just saying he's crashing on saying he doesn't care about your judgment. So he just has no scaling and I have quantifiable scaling. Pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Infinity, if you want, you can give one.
One, that's not even true. I gave scaling for this point, Mono. This nigga can't track for shit. I gave multiple lines of scaling for this point. And secondly, I said even if I didn't give scaling, if I were to lose that point hypothetically, quantification versus unquantification entails unknown. We cannot determine what the equation leads to if both variables and that infers the equal sign is either one unknown and unknown or known and known. 5 plus unknown or 5 plus undeterminable does not entail anything other than unquantifiable or unknown. 5 plus 0 is 5, but 5 plus unknown is unknown. We can't determine what the unknown variable is, so we cannot say conclusively that your character, which is 5, is above the unknown variable. This is simple. Like, what the fuck?
All right, so Goons, just go ahead and give your judgment, and then we can end stage.
Yeah, Jester won.
Jester won. All right, Infinity, Jester, I'm gonna meet you guys if you have anything to say, and then I'm gonna end stage.
Suck my dick, bitch. That's what I thought. Keep fucking talking shit.
do you
He's
mean?
quiet
What are you
as shit.
talking
Your
about?
shitty
I
ass
already.
internet.
I hope
You
you
a
know,
bum
Jester.
ass bitch. You
Everybody
got
good
son.
thinks I
I
won. I already
violated.
knew I was gonna win about the
Okay,
judgment.
yeah, your goon matrix thinks you won. Nobody cares. I just slapped you on
What?
stage
These niggas
publicly.
are
I just
not
publicly
goons. What the
humiliated you.
fuck?
Yes,
Are you
nigga, you
dumb?
have
Mono
goons. You
is
have a
not.
goon matrix. You're
Mono is
dumb.
not
You
my
need
goons.
to crash out,
Mono is
bro.
not my goons.
We got a perfectly neutral
Wait,
judge
what
and
am I?
you
Hey,
lost. You got
Sakazuki.
son. I
Whoa, I don't
grabbed you
agree
and I
that he's
slammed
neutral.
you.
I said he
But
wasn't
he's
neutral
not
before I agreed to
firm.
him.
Yes, you don't think he's
Wait,
neutral because you said you lost.
I agreed.
Wait,
He wasn't
how
neutral
long did you
before I
judge
agreed to him.
Sakazuki? Wait, can you tell everybody how long you judge Hunter Sakazuki?
Wait, what?
Wait, what did you say? What?
How long did you judge Hunter Sakazuki, Infinity? Once everybody, tell everybody publicly.
Wait, how many? What?
So you can't speak English either? Are you dumb?
No, I literally do not know what the fuck you're saying. What did you say?
Let me
long
keep
did
it
I
by Jester. You're like Mike, like blended that
Wait,
shit.
no,
I don't know
Sakazuki.
what
No,
the-
don't even correct him because he's fucking retarded. He thought I couldn't track, but
This nigga's dumb as
Sakazuki,
hell. This
can you
nigga's
tell me
dumb
what he
as
said?
hell.
Can you tell me what he said?
This
Can you
nigga's
tell me
dumb
what he
as
said,
hell.
Sakazuki?
I
Or did you
can't
not hear
believe
it
it.
either? And it's a problem on his end.
I don't know what Jester said. I don't know the question.
Oh, okay, thank you.
How
So it isn't just a
many-
tracking issue on my end. This dude's
how much
retarded. He thought
time
that shit was
did you judge
rhetorical.
Hunter
Hey, Mano, he
Sakazuki?
thought that shit was
Hey,
rhetorical.
all I know was
Dumbass
rhetorical
nigga
is that
say,
you
oh, you don't know
lost.
English?
Anything
Dumbass
that
nigga,
was
nobody
rhetorical is
understood
that
what
you
you
lost.
said,
They lose?
retard.
They lose? You lost,
What are
right?
you talking
So
about?
shut the fuck up, bitch. That's what I thought. Nigga, you lost.
What is he? I lost my
Oh,
goon
and one?
judgment, who I said
Oh,
I
and
wouldn't
one?
set before.
Oh,
I said
and
I
one?
wouldn't have set this judgment before. I just wanted to
Wait,
use him as a
wait,
progressive race.
Sakazuki.
Are you stupid? Are you
Sakazuki.
stupid?
Wait, who's 1-0 in the ladder now, though?
Are you? I'm still above you on the ladder. I hope you know that. I have more
This
points.
the
than you.
ladder,
What the
the
fuck?
ladder
It
reset, dumbass nigga.
Infinity, it resets every week.
It
This is the
reset,
new-
You're
dumbass.
right. You said, is it 2 weeks or is it more? Is it 1
It
more?
It's 2 weeks.
reset.
The one
It
for
reset.
yesterday. Wait, hold up. The one
Just to clarify, everybody,
He's like
I
spitting
said
out
I
of his
wasn't
mouth
going
every
to
single time he
accept
says that.
Goon's
Nigga, you're
judgment. I'm only
nigga, you're
going to
debating me
accept
in a
it
wooden
terms of
chair in a
progressive
thong right now, you nasty ass bitch. Shut the fuck up, bro. And nigga, the ladder
everybody,
reset. You're
this-
0-1 on the
this
ladder
dude
and
is
you're
so
gonna lose to
happy
that
that
boy,
he
you
beat
nasty ass
Infinity.
bitch.
This dude is so happy that he beat
Nigga,
Infinity. This
every
nigga
single
is
time
hyped.
you
He's
get to
hyped.
debate me,
He's
you're the
hyped.
happiest guy on the planet. Every
He's
single time I
hyped.
type in
He's
chat,
hyped,
you respond to me.
everybody.
Every
He's so
single time I
hyped.
hop in
He's
a
so
call,
hyped.
you
He
jump in a
beat
call and you say
Infinity once.
something.
He
Nigga,
beat
you're
his
dumb
judgment.
as
He's so
shit.
hyped, everybody.
You're dumb as
He's
shit.
so
You're
hyped.
like,
This dude is so
am I your
hyped, my
idol? Do you
nigga.
love me?
This
Like,
nigga
what the hell is
this
wrong?
nigga's
Like, you're
grabbing for air.
like you look up
Mano,
to
this
me.
nigga is
I think you
jumping
look up
up
to me.
and
I'm like the
down.
next
This nigga-
generation.
oh my God,
Like I
oh,
want to be
Infinity,
Jester
I
so
beat
bad.
Infinity.
I want to be Jester so bad. Like, oh my god, I want to be Jester so bad. Like you're dumb as shit.
This dude is
You're
so
dumb as
fucking
shit,
hyped. This nigga
dumbass
is fat as
bitch. Like
fuck,
you
my
just
nigga.
got
You have him
slammed.
over beating
You will never
Infinity
touch me on
in a judgment
crossfits.
that
All
he
you can
said
do
he
is sit
wasn't
here
going
and
to
lie. That's
accept,
why Opal
retard.
fucking
So just
Batista
to be
bombed
clear,
and little
Goons,
fucking bitch
just to be
ass.
clear. Wait, not
Nigga, you're
Goons, my
dumb
bad.
as
Just to be clear,
shit.
Mano,
You're
oh,
dumb as
Mano, can
shit.
you
Wait,
please send
Infinity,
the
tell everybody about your
screenshot
boxing
where I
career.
said I already know who Goons
Wait,
gonna
tell everybody
hold
about
me
your
over?
boxing
Can
career.
you please send the
Wait, how's your
screenshot
boxing career
where I
going?
already know
Wait,
Goons
Infinity,
gonna
what
hold me
sports do you
over?
play? Infinity, how much money do you have? Infinity, do you have a job?
You
Are you
said
unemployed or you a
turn my
bum?
noise
That's what I thought,
suppression off.
bitch. That's what I
Okay,
thought,
you
you
said
bum.
turn my hey, hello, hey, is my noise suppression off now? You said turn my noise
Hey,
suppression
Infinity,
off.
Everyone in
Infinity,
DC vote.
Hey, so
Everyone
just
in
to be
DC
clear,
vote.
you got
bro,
no
just to be
fans.
clear, hold on,
You got
hold on, my bad, I didn't mean to do that.